Hi, writers! It's that time. We're having Writers Workshop. You remember the kind of books we've been working on? If you said how-to books, you are right. Last week, you all did a great job with your how-to books. This week, we're going to look at some new skills. Before we get started, do you remember what a how-to book is? Remember, it's just the kind of writing that explains or teaches someone else how to do something. So we're going to continue with that this week. This week, I want to teach you that writers have a title page to books, which is the cover of the book. Anytime we see a brand new book, boys and girls, we always have a front cover with the title. Also, how-to books often write a special page called the introduction page. These books help the reader understand their topics, what they're trying to tell us. And then finally, writers write a conclusion that lets readers know the book is over. So let's take a look at what I want to focus on with today or this week with you. There are 3 parts that we're going to look at this week. We're going to look at a brand new title page. Now, you remember last week I had you to write your title at the top of your very first page, but this week we're going to look at something different. We're also going to talk about the introduction page and the conclusion page. When we talk about a title page, we're talking about the front cover of your book, and I'll show you what that looks like soon. The introduction. When we talk about an introduction, it should give the reader some information or facts so that the rest of the how-to book will make sense. So when you do an introduction, you're just going to tell a little bit about what you're going to write about. And then finally, the conclusion. This will be at the very end of the story. It lets the reader know the book is finished and the writer does not want to write about that subject anymore. So, do you remember our very first book that we wrote about how to make a peanut butter sandwich? Remember that? That's my first book. But you know what I did? I ended up rewriting this book, and you can do that with your how-to books. You can just pick one of the books you've written before and just rewrite it. And in this book, I rewrote this book because we needed to remember how to label and use those transitional words. So I rewrote the book for you. I also added on the front cover, which is the title page. I also added on an introduction of what this book is about, and I also added a conclusion at the end. So let's just take a look at what Miss Day did for you. Take a look. That's my title page of my how-to book. And you'll notice the title is at the very top. How to make a peanut butter sandwich. And when we see our books, a lot of times we see pictures of what we're going to be writing about. So here's my peanut butter on 2 pieces of bread. And then I wrote the word by. By means who wrote the story. And here's my name, Apple Day. So when you make your introduction page, or when it's time for your title page, your title page, this is what it should look like. It should be on its own piece of paper. So let's go to the introduction. Now, you remember our introduction is going to kind of give you an idea of what this how-to book is about. And at the top, I wrote introduction. Here I have some pictures of what's going to be in the story. You see my jar of peanut butter and my bread is there. So that's what's going to be in the story. So what did I write for my introduction? I said, do you like peanut butter sandwiches? That's a question. Read this to see how To make it, you will need bread, peanut butter, and a knife. So you notice how I started off letting you know if you wanted to know anything about peanut butter sandwiches, this is the book to read. If you want to know about it, I'm telling you to read it. And then finally, I listed all of the things you needed for the peanut butter sandwich. So remember, this is called the introduction. So let's go to the story itself, the how-to book. Now, you remember when we do how-to books, we always look at the steps. We always label the pictures, and we always look at our transitional words. So first, you get 2 pieces of bread. And you'll notice I labeled what this is, and it is called bread. Step 2. Here's my jar of peanut butter, and I just wrote the word peanut butter on the jar. That's how I labeled it. Next, you get some peanut butter, and that's what we see here in the picture. Step 3. Here's my number. Here's my transitional word. It says, then you get a knife. Here's a picture of my knife, and I also labeled my knife. Step 4. Then you spread the peanut butter on 1 piece of bread. And as you can see, here's my knife spreading the peanut butter on the 1 piece of bread. I also labeled my pictures. I drew a line from here to the peanut butter, and that's what that says, peanut butter. I drew a line to the knife. This says knife. I also drew a line to the bread so you can see where the bread is. Step 5. This is the last step. It says last, you put the 2 pieces of bread together. And as you can see, the 2 pieces of bread are together. And guess what's inside? You got it. You guessed it. Peanut butter. And how did I label it? We know that now this is called a what? A peanut butter sandwich. That's why I labeled it like that. So now we're going to go to the conclusion. This is the conclusion page where you're going to show the reader that you are done with your story. You see, I have step 6. And my conclusion is telling me, eat it and enjoy. And this is saying, this sandwich really, really tastes good. So my conclusion is letting everybody know how I'm feeling about it. And now I don't want to write anything else about my peanut butter sandwich. So let's take a look at my book I wrote last week. You remember my book I wrote about how to plant flowers? Here it is. Take a look at the front cover. This is my title page. The title says How to Plant Flowers. You notice I wrote my title at the very top. And I have some cool pictures in the middle to let you know that this story is about planting some flowers. And here are some flowers here. I don't think I would put Bateman School on the front here because this book has nothing to do with Bateman School. I am actually teaching you how to plant what? Flowers. And again, I'm the author. So my name is at the bottom. The word by means the same as the author's name, Apple Day. So let's take a look at the introduction page. The introduction, and I wrote that at the very top, and I have a picture of seeds that you use to plant in the ground. That's the picture I decided to put there because seeds have something to do with planting. I don't think I would put a horse on that page because I know that has nothing to do with my title, How to Plant Flowers. So I decided to just put a bag of seeds. So my introduction says, have you ever wanted to grow flowers? Read this book to learn about how. You will need a small shovel, soil, seeds, and water. So I asked you a question. If you wanted to know about how to plant some flowers, this is the book to go to. And if you want to know, you have to read it. And then at the bottom, I put all of the materials that I needed in order to plant my flowers in my introduction page. Let's go to page number 1. Remember what we did? I showed you last week. Step 1, first you dig a hole in the soil. Here's my transitional word first, and here are my labels. Step 2, next you put a few seeds in the soil. Next is my transitional word, and my labeling is right here. Step 3, here's my transitional word. Then you cover the seeds with some soil and sprinkle with water. As you can see, how I labeled my hand and the dirt and the water that's coming out of the watering can. So it's really important that you label, use those transitional words and your steps. Step 4, last, you wait for your flowers to grow in the sunlight. And as you can see, I labeled flowers and drew lines to all of the flowers that are trying to grow. And here I am. That's my name, Apple. And we know what that is, the sun. Let's go to the conclusion page. Remember the conclusion? The conclusion is at the very end, letting everyone know you are done talking about whatever your topic is about, and you want everyone to enjoy what they read. Step 5, have fun watching your flowers grow. And here are all my beautiful flowers in the sun. We know it's outside. The tree is blooming. And this word says beautiful. That's what I wanted to write because now all of my flowers have grown really tall and they are beautiful. So this is my conclusion page. So now, boys and girls, we've been spending so much time, lots and lots of time at home these days. And I know you have been busy doing things around or outside your house. I thought it might be a really good idea to do a how-to book about something you've been doing at home. And I know all of you have been doing all kinds of cool things at home. Let's see. I bet some of you have been doing some of the things I'm getting ready to show you right now. Here's my title, Things We Do at Home. Now, the things you've been doing at home, you've probably been doing some of the same things, but I bet you've been doing some new things. Take a look at this picture. Here's a picture of a girl vacuuming. Have you been helping mom clean? You can vacuum the rug, you can mop the floor, you can sweep. That's something you're probably doing at home. What about helping to set the table at home? Has anyone been helping to set the table at home when it's time to eat? And if you get a chance to go outside on a nice day, and lately it's been kind of rainy, but we've had a few nice days, maybe you can go outside and help Dad wash the car. That would be kind of cool, right outside, just to get a little fresh air. Or maybe you can help Mom do some cooking. Maybe you can get up and help cook breakfast for the whole family. These are things you've been doing at home. These are great how-to books you can share. Maybe, and I heard Autumn the other day, she said every morning she and her mother get up and they watch a special television program. Here is a mom and a girl reading a story, and it seems like the girl is actually reading the story to mom. So this is another how-to book. You can write about something you're doing at home. Maybe you're not reading the story to just mom. Maybe you're reading it to dad. Maybe you're reading it to your baby. Maybe you can read it to your stuffed animal, maybe your dog, or just read it to yourself. Maybe you could be a good helper helping with the baby at home. I'm sure those children that have little brothers, little sisters, I know you are big helpers to mom and dad with the baby. I know some of you have been helping to wash the dishes at home. I know. This is another how-to book that you can share about how do you wash dishes at home. All of these things a lot of you have been doing at home. How many people have been coloring at home? You could do a how-to book on how to color a special picture you're making. Mother's Day is coming up. Maybe you can do a how-to book on how to color a special picture or make a special card for mom for Mother's Day. How about playing new games? Here's a family playing a card game, or maybe your family plays board games, or even maybe your family plays video games. These are all ideas of things that you are doing at home. So that's why Miss Day thought it might be a really good idea that you pick a topic about things you do at home. You will write a how-to book about one thing you have done at home alone or with someone. That's the topic I want you to pick this week. So you're going to think about something you have been doing at home. Now, if you are not sure what to write, I just want you to just stop and think and just look around your house and think about something you have learned how to do all by yourself or something new you are doing with someone in your family at home. Now it's your turn, boys and girls. You're going to have to write a how-to book about one thing you have done at home, alone or with someone. That's going to be your topic this week. So before we go, I want to show you all the things I want you to remember when you are writing. Take a look. The first thing I want you to remember, the how-to book you're going to write this week will be about something you do at home. I want you to remember to have a title page. Always have a title page, and that's a page all by itself. A title page looks like that. Another thing I want you to remember, write an introduction. Remember, the introduction is giving information about your book. Or introduction is giving information about your book. So this is the introduction page. So you will have to sit down with mom or dad and you guys talk about this, how your introduction will look like. Remember to number your steps. Remember to label your pictures. Remember to use those transitional words. First you, next you, then you, and then last you. After you write the last transitional word, you're going to have one more page, which is going to be the conclusion page. And remember, this is just a few words to say you're finished, you're done. Remember to begin your sentence with an uppercase letter. And remember those spaces between your words. And be sure to put a period at the end of your sentence. Okay, writers, it's your turn to get started. When you finish, I want you to go to the Seesaw program and video yourself reading your story. Don't forget to show the pictures. And again, boys and girls, you're not going to use the same paper Miss Day used. Remember, you have your journal and you have just plain paper that you can use like this. You can use just plain paper or use your journal to write in. And you can have your title page here, then you can do your introduction, and then you can start writing your how-to book. So you can use this type of paper. So don't forget, I can't wait to see those videos on your how-to book on something that you are doing at home. Good luck.